Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
you
the
mind?
answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to, you're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Don't tell anyone, but I like his style. Good evening and happy end of the world day to you. This week there's been enough going on in world events that you might be asking, how the hell are we still alive? Well, we truly don't care if you're still alive. So tonight we'll give you stunning, award-winning journalistic reports on what you're the collateral damage of, including the godfather of AI quits Google over the ignored existential risks that it poses. The Durham report concludes that Trump is exonerated from Russia collusion. Let's just bury that story. CNN tries to set a trap for Trump and he proceeds to light them on fire. Netflix goes woke with a black Cleopatra and receives the lowest Rotten Tomatoes rating in history. Sea levels are rising in Oklahoma, and investigators into the Biden crime family are going missing for some reason. We'll get to that in a moment, but first, artificial intelligence is a growing concern among people who have a self-preservation instinct. They're concerned that AI will take over and present existential dangers to humanity. Little do these morons know, it's already happening, so there's really nothing to be concerned about. Yet in the latest, we're all gonna die from AI news, the so-called godfather of AI, Dr. Geoffrey Hinton, has quit Google. Having been brought on by Google a decade ago, he developed Google's AI technology, which led the way for garbage like ChatGPT. But Hinton quit Google because he has growing concerns that AI poses a horrendous risk to humanity, and also so he can speak freely about his concerns. He also says that he regrets his contributions to the AI field. But you should have nothing to worry about, as you've pledged your allegiance to Big Pharma, Big Tech, and Big Government, believing they actually have your best interest in mind. Your commitment to not admitting that you're wrong should have you believing that Google is a responsible steward of AI that would never do anything that doesn't have your best interest in mind. However, Godfather Hinton says that Google was a proper steward of AI until last year, but isn't anymore. But I'm sure your loyalty and mindlessly putting your health and well-being in the hands of big tech, remember all those fact checks you believe that have since been proven wrong, is much better informed than Dr. Hinton's knowledge of AI and his insider experience at Google. And trust us, on the small chance that the 100% likelihood of something going horribly wrong with AI actually happens, we'll be warning you about it after it happens. Next up in the news, the Durham report concludes that Trump is exonerated from the left's most beloved conspiracy theory, which is Trump colluding with Russia to win the 2016 election. Taking 4 years to put together his 316-page report, Special Counsel John Durham, who apparently doesn't work very fast, concluded that the FBI lacked any actual evidence before investigating Trump for colluding with Russia. His report also says that the extensive spying on Trump's campaign and administration relied on baseless claims that were provided or funded by his political opponents, including Hillary Clinton. Ever hear of her? The report also said that multiple officials doing the investigating had clear anti-Trump sentiment, as they should. In other words, it looks like Hillary Clinton and the FBI were wrong about the lies they made up. But we're all wrong sometimes, so this is a good time for amnesty. The Russian collusion hoax was propagated rather aggressively, to the point that by December 2017, half of American voters believed it was true. Does this mean that the FBI helped sway the 2020 elections? The same election that the same FBI helped further sway by refusing to investigate things that actually existed, such as Hunter Biden's laptop? Answer? No, because that would be illegal, and the FBI doesn't do the illegal things that it does. And as the same FBI has recently performed a rather unprecedented raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, going after documents that Trump was legally allowed to have, does it look like they're also trying to not sway the 2024 election? Of course not, because they also forgot to go after Biden for having loads of classified documents that he wasn't allowed to have. What does this mean for Hillary Clinton? Will the FBI go after her? Probably not. She appears to be very innocent of the crimes that she definitely committed. And our latest reports suggest that the FBI officials don't want to end up on the Clinton body count list. Next up in the news, and on a related topic, the IRS whistleblower and his team that had been investigating Hunter Biden for his tax crimes have been dismissed by the Justice Department, made to stop investigating. Now, at face value, it looks like the Justice Department is intentionally stopping the investigation so Hunter's crimes and his father's involvement are not found out about. But that's clearly not the case. The Justice Department has concluded that they simply need more investigators looking into the crimes that President Trump didn't commit. So it's a matter of diverting resources for national security. And oddly enough, people with knowledge of Biden's crimes seem to be disappearing. Take a look.
9 of the 10 people that we've identified that have very good knowledge with respect to the Bidens, they're one of 3 things, Maria. They're either currently in court, they're currently in jail, or they're currently missing.
So if the current team of investigators looking into Hunter and Joe's crimes know what's good for them, they'll stop. And they have. Now, to help divert your attention from all that, let us remind you about the climate crisis. Pretty devastating, am I right? Over the weekend, I took an investigative journalistic trip to Oklahoma to measure the dramatic effects of the climate crisis. And as you can see here, the sea levels in Oklahoma have risen dramatically. Oddly enough, sea levels on the coast have drastically risen to the exact same level they've been for the past 300 years. To help protect yourself from the homicidal climate, continue ignoring the criminal activity of the Biden crime family, including the weaponization of the FBI to sway elections by going after their political opponents, and continue focusing on the fear you feel when we tell you how afraid you should be of the climate. This just in! Today's climate fear level is red, and will continue to be red until AI kills us all to harvest our organs. And in other news, Bud Light sales have dropped by over 23%, and the company has lost more than $5 billion of value. No explanation why. Moving along, Netflix has launched a widely popular series about Cleopatra, with a twist. They've turned the historically and provably white figure black. Why? Because Netflix doesn't mind using black people for their own gain of appearing more virtuous. While Netflix is a fan of their Cleopatra depiction, nobody else is, apparently. Cleopatra knocked it out of the park with the lowest audience score in Netflix history. It's also achieved the lowest audience score ever on Rotten Tomatoes, with a 2%. As fate would have it, instead of hiring a team of writers for the show, Netflix hired a team of diversity specialists. And it's paying off, as Cleopatra is obviously a good show because Netflix chose to make it about race. It's just a shame, and clearly racist, that nobody else likes it. Hopefully Netflix learns from their mistake, because the show obviously would have been a blockbuster if they also went to the trouble of making Cleopatra trans. Next up, CNN made a move to say goodbye to their Cleopatra level of viewership and actually get some viewers for a change by having President Trump on for a town hall discussion. It appears as though the interview didn't go as planned. Despite well-crafted questions trying to set him up to look bad and a host obnoxiously interrupting him all the time to try to throw him off, Trump unfortunately came across very well. But please don't mistakenly believe that Trump doing well at all correlates to him being a good leader. In fact, despite a complete lack of evidence, many suspect that Trump doing well is an indication that he was colluding with Russia during his CNN town hall. The FBI is expected to launch a full-on 12-year investigation to get to the bottom of it. And finally, in an unfortunate blow to the always trustworthy leftist media, Vice News has declared bankruptcy. The company, once valued at $6 billion, has been sold for $400 million. I wonder why the company got so worthless. This just in! Vice's bankruptcy announcement comes just 2 weeks after they published a smear piece on a non-compliant extremist named J.P. Sears. In this smear piece, the now unemployed author accused J.P. Sears of being such things as a conspiracy theorist. Guilty, with a pretty high batting average on that, I might add. And they made accusations of him being an True, and proud of it. And they also accused him of being transphobic. Not true. Yours truly cares about trans people as though they're his brothers and sisters, even if they don't know which they are. I do, in fact, hate sexual predators, though, whether they're straight, gay, or trans. I like to bring equality to the hatred of sexual predators. And they accused me of mocking men who play women's sports. That couldn't be more true, and I plan on doing a lot more of it. In the, of course, scholarly article, they grouped me in with other despicable extremists such as Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Dr. Robert Malone, Sherry Tenpenny, Stu Peters, and Tulsi Gabbard. And that's an honor. Now, after the bankruptcy, Vice, the media moral equivalent of a late-term abortion, has been purchased by George Soros. A worthless media company being bought by a worthless human? Well, George has a knack for destroying America, and his lizard brain knows that propaganda is a helpful weapon as a means to the end of America. Aside from Vice, which has the same integrity as the skin on Soros's face, Soros has spent over $131 million to buy influence over journalists and media groups to promote his far-left agenda. Can you say defund the police? So I'm sure you can expect a rather exciting turnaround of Vice News, with Soros injecting some of his fresh adrenochrome into the company. With reporters who have the personality of Soros's foreskin, Stockholm Syndrome-esque critical thinking skills, and the impartialness of the FBI, in the coming months, we expect that Vice News' popularity will rise to CNN Plus levels. That's it for tonight's news. AI is coming because it's already here. Its creator says there's grave danger and he regrets contributing to it, so we should be fine. Trump is exonerated from Russia collusion, Hillary Clinton is quiet for some reason, and the Biden investigators probably won't find anything because they keep disappearing. And these are the people that you think have your best interest at heart. Good luck with that. Good night. Oh, one more thing, on a serious note, today's video is brought to you by Heart and Soil Supplements. Now, I'm someone who takes my health, vitality, and fitness very seriously. That's why I'm glad to know that organ meats, especially the ones that come from grass-fed, grass-finished animals, are the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Nothing else comes close. Now I'm talking about organs like liver, kidney, heart, and spleen. So how can you get them in your diet every day? Now, if you're like me, you don't really love the palatability of things like liver when you cook it, and that's also something I'm just realistically not gonna take the time to do. But Heart and Soil makes it easy for me to do. You might know my friend Dr. Paul Saladino, or Carnivore MD on social media. He's the founder of Heart and Soil Supplements, which is grass-fed, grass-finished, regeneratively farmed beef organs in supplement form. For over a year now, Heart and Soil is how I get my daily intake of rich micronutrients and organ meats. I genuinely love Heart and Soil. I visited their headquarters here in Texas. They're helping people reclaim their birthright of radical health. If you're ready to start bringing organ supplements into your life, then just visit heartandsoil.co. And also, for a 10% off discount code, see the video description below. That's heartandsoil.co. Enjoy.